All right, let's talk about a classic underdog story unfolding right now in the AI coding wars. And wow, this one's a big one for Mistral AI. Things weren't looking so hot for a minute there. After the launch for Mistral 3, let's be honest, it didn't quite land the way they'd hoped. The community was definitely starting to wonder what was next.
But then, just when people were starting to count them out, they dropped something completely new, something that's powerful and something that has totally shaken up the conversation around coding AI. So let's get into it. So this big comeback, it's all built around a brand new open source coding model called Devstrol 2. And well, it kind of showed up with a bit of a surprise twist.
That's right. If you're someone who's been using the Kilo code agent, you might have noticed this stealth model in there called Spectre. Well, guess what? That was Devstrol 2, hiding in plain sight, being tested and tweaked in the real world this whole time. Pretty clever.
Now, Devstrol 2 isn't just one single thing. Mistral actually released it in two different open source flavors, and each one is built for a different kind of job. Okay, so on one side, you've got the main Devstrol 2. It's a 123 billion parameter beast, really built for those heavy-duty production-level coding tasks. And on the other side, you've got Devstrol Small. It's a much lighter 24 billion parameter model, and it comes with that super flexible Apache 2.0 license, which makes it perfect for running on your own machine.
So how does this thing actually stack up? This is where the story gets really, really interesting, because Devstrol 2 is stepping into the ring and going toe-to-toe with the biggest names out there. Check this out. On the Sway Bench Verified Test, which is a really tough benchmark that sees how well these AIs can solve actual real-world coding problems, Devstrol 2 clocks in with an incredible 72.2%. That score immediately puts it right up there with the best of the best open-weight models available today. And what's wild is just how close it gets to the very top. It's just 1% behind the leader DeepSeek version 3.2. And it's getting dangerously close to the performance of those massive proprietary models from places like Google and Anthropic, all while being completely open source. And here's the kicker. It's achieving this top-tier performance while being 5 times smaller than its main rival, DeepSeek's v3.2. That size difference is a huge, huge deal when you actually want to deploy this thing. And, of course, that small size means it's incredibly efficient. We're talking up to 7 times more cost-efficient on real-world tasks than something like Claude Sonnet. I mean, that power-to-cost ratio is just off the charts. This right here really drives it home. When you put them head-to-head in direct matchups, Devstrol 2 wins almost 43% of the time. It consistently outmaneuvers its bigger competitor. But, raw power is one thing. Knowing how and when to use it is everything. This isn't some magic wand for every single coding problem, so it's really important to know what it's truly good at. This is the big question for any developer, right? Where does Devstrol 2 really shine, and where should you probably reach for a different tool instead?
Well, the answer is super clear. This thing is a back-end specialist. It is amazing at digging into huge code bases, squashing complex bugs, modernizing old systems, and sniffing out security holes. What it is not is a front-end designer. Seriously, don't ask it to build your pretty landing page or mock up an app.
Here's a perfect example of what I mean. They pointed it at this broken, totally insecure API codebase. Devstrol 2 just dove right in. It read all the files, figured out the context, identified a whole bunch of serious security problems like cross-site scripting and all that nasty stuff, and then it just fixed it automatically. It made the API work and it made it secure. That's its sweet spot. And to really illustrate what it's not good at, when one user asked it to create an SVG, a vector graphic of a butterfly, well, the result was animated, but let's just say it did not look like a butterfly. So yeah, stick to the back end with this one. Okay, so you get it. You know its strengths, and you're ready to take it for a spin. The best part is, getting your hands on Devstrol 2 is actually super easy. You've got a ton of options. You can use it through agents like Kilo Code. They're even giving out free credits. You can get started. It's also on Open Router and right on Mistral's own API. And hey, if you've got the hardware, like a beefy PC with a 4090 or a newer Mac, you can just run the thing locally. And for anyone using the API, the pricing is just fantastic. The big model is just 40 cents for 1 million input tokens, and the small one is only 10 cents. It's incredibly affordable to use. Oh, and Mistral also dropped this new open source tool called Mistral Vibe CLI.
It's a command line assistant that lets you use Devstrol to tweak your code with prompts right from your terminal. Pretty cool.
You know, the success of Devstrol 2 really makes you think. Here you have this smaller, more efficient open source model that punches way, way above its weight class. It really begs the question, is this what the future of AI development looks like? Are we moving away from these giant do-it-all models and toward a new world of smaller, specialized powerhouses that you can pick and choose for the perfect job? It's a pretty compelling idea.